what they're seeing. And I see a thumbs up, so that means we are ready to rock and roll. Good afternoon, everyone. On this April 15th of 2021, I'm Mayor Diana Broderson, and welcome to our city. We have two great guests with us today, Dr. Naomi DeWinter, President of MCC, and Dean of Instruction, Jeremy Pickard. But before we get going, I just had a couple of quick announcements. We know there's always information out there about the vaccines. They're going great in our community, in our state, in our country. We're getting people vaccinated. If you need help, please reach out to Senior Resources 263-7292, and they will gladly help you get your vaccine appointment or answer any questions you may have. You can also call 211. You can call your local pharmacy. Wester, you can call on the phone. Hy-Vee, you can go on their website. There's a lot of different ways that you can access, even through your physician now. Most of the physician's offices have a supply that they're able to utilize on their patients. So if you have any questions, give me a call. I'd be glad to help you get pointed in the right direction. Next, we are heading into spring and summer, and this is a time when we're looking forward to all the great weather, but sometimes it's not so great. And so the Emergency Management Commission of Muscatine County is asking us, along with the National Weather Service, to make sure that we are ready for severe weather. And in order to help us do that, they've put together some helpful hints with a tool that you can find at ready.gov/make-a-plan. And they're really encouraging us to help make sure that we have a plan in our home set up so that if things happen, we need to be prepared. And things have happened here in our community. We've had big wind events. We've had, a tornado. There's been all kinds, storms for sure that can be dangerous. So just trying to make sure that we cover all of our bases. Next, upcoming is a celebration for 35 years of citizen diplomacy. Muscatine Sister Cities is holding an online event this coming Monday, April 19th, from 6 to 7 p.m. And they're going to do an overview of the Sister Cities relationship between Muscatine and Kislovodsk I never say that as good as Dan Clark, in Russia. And you can visit the Muscatine Sister Cities Facebook page and get the Zoom logon instruction. I've attended a few of these in the past for other cities, other sister cities also, and it's such a great deal of good information if you have the opportunity to be able to do that. So without further ado, I really want to welcome our guests, Dr. DeWinter and Mr. Pickard Dean Pickard from MCC have really stepped outside of the box over this past year and over for many, many years, but certainly over this past year, it's been really evident to the community how they have been able to create a bridge between the needs of our industry and the people and what the public is able to do work-wise. And so they've created various programs to help train people to be able to fit the needs of our industry. And as their tagline, they're the community's college. It's just never been so evident as it is now. I remember MCC's my alma mater. And I remember back many, many years ago when my last child went to preschool, I thought, and I had just had a high school diploma. And I thought, well, now what am I going to do? And so I marched over to MCC and said, okay, this is what I want to do and where I want to go. Tell me how to do it. And Tom Savage sat me down and said, this is what we're going to have you help you do. And that was started my career and my education of higher learning. So thank you both for all that you do in our community. Naomi, do you want to get us started on what kind of things you're working on?
Yes, you bet. And you mentioned the Sister Cities celebration. We have several MCC former and current employees who are affiliated with the Sister Cities group, of course, chaired by John DeBeat, and he is known worldwide really for his relationships. And you mentioned Tom Savage, he and his wife are also on the board. And Muscatine Community College has had a long history of hosting international students and international travel. Actually, Jeremy was a traveler to many countries, helping different colleges learn U.S. models and helping them, transition what we are able to teach to their business and their economies. So it's there has been an international flavor to MCC for many, many years as well.
Oh, yes. As long as I've been to several international fairs held right there in the Student Center.
Yep, that's right. Yep. And so, of course, during COVID, that population changed a little bit, and over the years that's changed as well, because some of the grant programs that we had have gone to different states, and but it always leaves its mark on many of us, and so it was part of our history, and so I just wanted to make mention that we are also involved in sister cities.
Very good.
What we want to really share with you and the viewers today is our work that resulted in passing of a bond referendum that will help the district, not just Muscatine, but also Clinton and Scott campuses, enhance and build new facilities for career and technical education. And that, we think, is really going to be a game changer for Muscatine, the community, the high schools, the businesses, and we couldn't be more excited about what that's going to bring. And I think I'll ask Jeremy to talk about the specific programs, how we decided on those specific programs, and what those facilities might start looking like. Jeremy, you want to take it from here?
Sure. Thanks, Dr. DeWinter. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just so I can show a couple of things that we have been looking at and working on related to the bond project. And so our bond was passed here just recently in early March, and it was the highest pass rate that we've ever had at Eastern Iowa Community Colleges for any bond. This was just an extension of a current bond referendum that was out there. So some of you remember the last time we did that bond, it was used for the science wing in Strand Hall. We also did a collaboration with Wilton and their community center there and library, where we had some activities and classrooms and things like that went in Wilton. We also partnered with Columbus Junction School District, and that's where the superintendent's office, as well as a portion of that building, is with Eastern Iowa Community Colleges in Muscatine, where we offer a number of training opportunities out there in Columbus Junction. And then we partnered with the We Lead Center out of West Liberty and established a center out there. So that's what we did with our previous bond. So just to kind of give you an idea on some of the projects that we do. This one is going to be focused on career and technical education, and most of the building will be done right here on the Muscatine campus for the southern part of those projects. And so I put this up here to show you that it is really a district-wide bond that was passed. It was a $40 million bond that's going to get split essentially three ways. You're going to see some building going on up at Clinton Community, right off of Clinton Community College, as well as in DeWitt. And then Scott Community College is going to do some renovations there on their campus. And then down in Muscatine, we're going to do a couple of projects down here as well. And so again, I show you that because it is a district-wide bond that was passed, and it will go to three different communities, actually four if you count DeWitt, up there in Clinton, Scott, and Muscatine for the areas that we serve. And so with the project that we have here, this is designed for what they call a career academy. And a career academy is specific for someone who is currently in high school who wants to get a jump start on their academic career because they have an idea on what they want to go into. We actually are offering a number of these currently with our 6 area school districts. That's Wilton and Durant in the north, West Liberty in the west, and then Columbus Junction, Louisa, Muscatine in the south, and then obviously Muscatine High School here in town. And we do service them, and we have around 60 students currently this year that are participating in those. The idea is to expand that to 100 plus students here over the next couple of years. So students, while they're a senior, or some of the programs are junior and senior year, you have the opportunity to get college credit, to earn college credit, and kind of get a head start on your college career while you're in high school. A lot of times in your senior year, you have some flex in your schedule. So I have a student who's going to be a junior in my house, and he has some late start and early release time because he has the credits that he already needs. And we can fill those with a number of electives. But one of the options here is to start with some of the community college credits and towards a program through either an academy, or some students just take a transfer class as well. And so my student in my home, my son, will be doing the same thing next year as well. And it's like opportunities that we offer like this and what this is designed for. We also see this not being just limited to high school students, but we also know that we have a need in our community for those who are out of high school, those who've already graduated, maybe want to come back and retool, try a new career path, get a new skill, expand what they already know. And so we see these buildings and these facilities being able to be used for a number of programs like that. And especially in healthcare, we've talked about that one. We have a few going on right now. I'm sure Naomi will share a little bit about some of those programs later as well. But currently right now, these are the ones that will be offered this fall on the left-hand side. So manufacturing, agriculture, culinary. This is really a teacher education program. So for those who want to go to become a elementary, middle school, or high school teacher, there will be an education track. IT is one that is very big. We have a healthcare, allied health, and welding that are currently running right now. The building that you see will be to expand a couple of programs, but also add some programs that we don't have. And so automotive technology is one that we want to look at. Construction tech, which would include HVAC, electrical, plumbing. We want to expand our allied health. That has actually been our most popular career academy. And so we're actually running out of space in our current facility. So the expansion here allows us to serve more students who have a desire to go into a healthcare track. And then our welding lab is bumping up on capacity as well. And so we're going to see a phase 2 is to enhance and expand our welding area as well. And then add criminal justice. That's another popular one that many folks have a desire to see on our campus. And so that's to enhance a couple of them, but also to add things that we currently have not offered on our campus at all. So it is a way to attract and recruit and provide services for career paths that we haven't done before here at Muscatine Community College.
Where will this building be built?
Oh, it is like we're a plant to ask that question, because my next slide here is actually to show what it is that we're doing. So this is a Google Earth kind of shot of the campus. And so you might be able to see right over here is Park Avenue. And so Come and Go sits right here on the corner. And then you see Colorado Street up north, so that the Muscatine Schools learning tree, or the preschool program, is housed here. And then this is the main part of our campus right here. And so you'll see right out here off of Colorado is where that first building is going to go. That'll house those newer programs that we don't have. And we have those in priority 1 and priority 2. And so you can see, we're talking about the construction trades, HVAC, electrician, plumbing, criminal justice, healthcare expansion, and auto tech. That's what you'll see going up here. We are doing some soil boring, soil sampling, things like that, to try to make sure that that's going to be the perfect fit. We obviously have a couple other spots on campus that these buildings could go if we deem that site isn't exactly what we want it to be, but we feel pretty confident that that's where the building is going to land. And then down here, we have what we call our MITC building already. This is where engineering, tech, advanced manufacturing, and welding are currently housed. And so this would be an expansion of those programs. And so the red would be the expansion of the currently existing building that is identified there in white. And so let me show you just a little bit closer. I'm doing kind of a enhanced version of this large red building up here off of Colorado Street. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what that might look like. Obviously, right now we're in the design phase of that. So we can't really do a whole lot until the bond gets passed, because you don't want to go too far down the road in all those design things with the architects and the engineers until you're actually going to go after the project. So we spent a couple of years planning, getting some rough concepts on what we wanted. some estimates on where we thought we would need to be as far as a price point, which is why we came up with a number we came up with. And now what we're doing is sharpening the pencils a little bit, meeting with faculty who are going to teach in that class, making sure we have the right equipment that's going to go in there, and the services, water, electrical, HVAC that are going to be needed for those spaces, and design them around that. So this is a sketch of what that will look like. And you can see in here, it's got criminal justice, construction, auto tech, and then down here at the bottom where you see like simulation lab, that's healthcare simulation. So when you're talking about nursing and CNA and LPN and RN, talking about offering a simulation lab to do some of the clinicals and do some of the things that we've had a challenge to do, actually, quite frankly, the last year plus, getting out into nursing home facilities and healthcare facilities just because of COVID. So we have had to rely a little more heavily on the simulation because we haven't been able to get into those facilities to do some of the clinical work that we need to. So that gives you an idea on kind of the who, what, where, and when, kind of at that high level. Over the next several months, we're going to be, like I said, really getting in the weeds and finalizing a lot of those details to try to figure out what that looks like. Timing wise, we actually hope to start these projects later this fall. So September, October, with the idea of being able to offer programming in there the fall of 2022.
Oh,
so
wow.
that would be a year from this fall. And obviously the goal would be to have these building complete and ready to go sometime in July, summer of 2022. That would allow us then to bring the equipment in, furniture in, make sure all that's ready to go for an August start to a number of classes that we're going to have held in there.
Wow, that's a really fast turnaround. I remember when we did Larson, it seemed like it took a lot longer than that. That's pretty quick timeline.
It is. It's a pretty aggressive timeline.
It is.
And remember, we kind of have like 6 projects going on throughout the district. So there's this one and the one in Clinton that we're starting with first. But for the next 3 years, we're going to be pretty busy here at Eastern Iowa Community Colleges, doing some facility work and creating some new programs.
And talking with some of our business partners, one of the things Jeremy and I heard frequently is the challenge of finding qualified workers in these selected fields and then keeping those workers. And so the strategy that we heard and that we're really helping with is this grow your own idea, so we're taking someone who is familiar with Muscatine, who loves all the things about Muscatine. Their family lives here. They went to school here. And now we're giving them the skills to have a great job so that they can continue to live here too and just, start another generation of Muscatine natives. And I think the business partners have really said that to us, that they want us to help grow our own talent. And some of these programs will do that because they'll lead to, really careers that are stable, that have high skills, and they can be built upon over time.
I think it's amazing, and I think it's amazing how you're working simultaneously and collaboratively with the other community partners. This is meeting the goals of our community to work on self-sufficiency, to work on people to be able to have the skills to do what they want to do, and they're able to do it right here. In years past, when our girls and our sons were graduating from high school, the push was for everybody to go get a 4-year degree. And we did that with our kids. And most of our kids aren't even utilizing their 4-year degree in what they're doing. It was just a matter of, you got to get a 4-year degree. And I think we have went past that and saw that, some people don't need a 4-year degree. Certainly some do and want it, and which is what I did. But even so, it's still good to have the basis of having MCC be your first 2 years as a catalyst to moving into completing it. But I think more and more we're seeing, that the trades, that certificate classes and hands-on things can give you the lifestyle that you desire and employment that you desire. at a much more doable level.
The other thing we're really trying to, attack with this new array of programs is to increase the percentage of high school graduates who choose to go on to that you need in a community to really make it grow, and to become vibrant. And so we feel like the type of programs, the fact that they're very hands-on and are shorter term, can really make a dent into the students who right now may think, why would I go on to get an advanced degree? And I think that could really change that conversation. I think the other thing that's important, and the reason why we were able to move forward at this time with such a great project, is that we have the full support of our high school partners to help us fund students in these career academy programs. So over the next 10 years, we have agreements that they will provide a certain number of students in these programs that help us make this jump to invest, $10 million into a new building. If we hadn't had that stability, we'd probably still be, in the same conversation saying, well,
Sure.
we don't have that program now, and we don't have the ability to invest in a new program. But now we have the business, partners telling us, yep, we will hire your people. We have the high schools telling us, over the next 10 years, we are guaranteeing you a certain number of students will be in there. That allows us to start those programs with hiring faculty, and then also serve some of the adults that are in the community, right? Together, then we've got cohort after cohort that we can run through.
Which it just brings up what I talk about on all the time on the show, is the collaborative, the positive collaborative relationships that we have in our community are amazing and outstanding, and they really do the best public service possible. And one other thing that really strikes me about the project is a lot of students that I come into contact with, when they graduate high school, they don't know what they want to do because they haven't explored interests. And so they say, well, I don't know what I want to do. And so why would I go to school, or why would I go do this? Because I don't even know what I like. You're getting them before they ever graduate, and they have an opportunity to have a taste of this, and, oh, I really don't like that, or, oh, I love it, and I didn't even know I loved it. And this is giving them an opportunity to explore what they really enjoy.
And I think a couple of the strategies related to this is we serve 5 pretty rural school districts as well, who may not have the opportunity to offer that exploratory curriculum for a student in auto tech or in criminal justice or in culinary. But we also don't really want our culinary program to be the first exposure they have. We think they do a really nice job in the high schools of training them in like Foods 1 and Foods 2. And if a student takes Foods 1 and Foods 2 that in their high school and goes, I really like this, I think I'd like to pursue something in culinary, then that's where the community college partners with the backside of the high school, saying they've kind of used up all of their options in welding or culinary or pick whatever. And now the community college can come alongside them and say, if you have a strong interest in doing this, let us help jumpstart that for you, and let us help get you down that path. So we have those. And then we also are able to offer some things that some of our area high schools have really zero in. They don't have anything being offered at this point in time in that. And we know there's students out there who have an interest in doing it. So those are a couple of things we've done. The other thing I want to mention here too is it's at no cost to the student. So the student is gaining community college credit. It's usually about a semester's worth of credit, so 12 to 16 credit hours, and it doesn't cost them anything.
Wow.
And in fact, if they do well in it, we have what we call a connection scholarship set up, that if a student earns 12 credit hours or more while in high school and has a 3.0 GPA, we will half price their tuition after graduating from high school to continue in the program. So again, you have to do well, right? There's a couple of tiers to the connection scholarship. I'm talking about the top tier. because that's where we kind of want everyone to land, hopefully, because it's the most beneficial to them. But just think about that. Essentially free first semester, half price the next year. In order to get a 2-year degree, you're only on the hook for 1 semester's worth of full tuition. And
Wow.
we rank about the second, third lowest in the state of Iowa for tuition costs here at Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. So we truly are trying to make education accessible to everyone, no matter where you're at on the socioeconomic status.
That's amazing, the opportunity there. Just, and some families, as they're trying to get their children involved, in post high school education, and that might struggle. This is going to be an opportunity to get them into the door. That is just amazing.
Yeah.
And then if they wanted to go do things past that, they can. But as you say, you've got those connections with industry right here. As soon as they got done, they could actually start working right here locally.
Right.
Which is keeping the skills right here in our community.
One of the first career academies, I think, Jeremy, you built is around culinary, and that came just around the time that the Merrill Hotel was built. And part of our program has the students do their internships inside the kitchen of the Merrill Hotel with Chef Tess, and also inside the kitchen of Geneva Country Club. And so it's not just that they're learning the skills, cutting skills and knife skills. They're doing baking actually right now, but they're seeing what it's like to be in that environment as an employee, and they can begin to see themselves, and what role they might have within that environment. So I think that's another thing that the community college partner can bring, are these relationships with the businesses. Jeremy, you might want to mention the pre-apprenticeship model that you and Mandy have worked on at H&I.
Yeah, the manufacturing one, we do have an apprenticeship model, pre-apprenticeship model with H&I, and we're looking to expand that as well. And so I also look at a number of these that are coming down the pike. Some of the things we're going to implement, they are really pre-apprentice things. So we know that if you want to be a pipe fitter out of the union, I don't know the exact numbers, but we know there's about 200 applicants for like 50 spots. And so we know that the applicants exceed the availability that you have to get into. So what if you completed this while you're in high school and really got 12 to 15, 16 credit hours, a lot of hands-on experience? Would that make you more attractive when you went to apply for one of those positions out there? And maybe you're not going to be a plumber, but there's a lot of manufacturing around here that is requiring and desiring those skills as well. You're talking about electrical, you talk about plumbing, you think about the water that's maybe even used at Heinz, or pick any of the companies that we have around here. You can see how there is a connection to that. I also know with the auto tech one of the businesses in town here let me know that they were literally flying people in from other states in order to interview to try to attract technicians, offering them pretty significant salaries, and it just wasn't sticking. It wasn't working very well. So that's a little bit of that grow your own. Someone who already knows our community, who is living in our community, and then can have the skills to be very employable and to earn a very nice wage and stay in our community. We find that to be very, very beneficial as well.
Oh, I can imagine, our local industry, I'm sure have realized that staff turnover is very costly, and that's going to be greater if they're bringing in people from out of town. But if you hire somebody from Muscatine that's been here all their lives, and grandma and grandpa live up the street, odds are they're going to stay around. And so they're worth investing in, both by the schools as well as the businesses. So it's a win-win, and then to carry that even further, you have families now that can earn a living wage, and the children, can do better. And we all know they do better when mom and dad don't have to worry about how they're going to pay the bills at the end of the month. Everyone wins. All of our businesses, our stores, everyone, when the people are educated and in jobs that really can sustain a family and that they love. Chad and I were talking about that before we got started today. The how blessed you are to be doing a job that you love, as opposed to I've got to go to work for 40 hours and sell hours of my life doing something I don't want to do. To be able to go to a job that you love and is not even work because you love it. I mean, that's worth everything, and these programs that you guys are offering in order to get people to a position where they're able to do a job they love. My goodness, that's wonderful. And worth a lot. You think of their lives, and how impactful that is for them to be able to do something that they like and take care of their families at the same time. And I really think that is a credit to the way you've been able to collaborate, with the partners and listen, oh, this is what they need, so this is how we can help. And it's great. So are you finding that Clinton and Scott County are going to be on the same quick timeline that you guys are? So this is going to be realized very quickly.
Yeah, so we're working on the projects right now in Clinton. At the same time, we're working on the one down here. And so there's 2 of those, and then there's one in DeWitt. They're finalizing some land issues there. They're talking about maybe relocating that a couple hundred yards away from where they originally thought they were going to place it in their industrial park. So that needs to be finalized before we can really jump on that. But you're going to see those 2 go pretty quickly. And then, as many of you are aware, in construction projects, the lead times right now on some of the steel and things like that for the structure, they're telling us maybe 6 months lead time just for the structure of the building. And so that's why I think we're pressing so quickly, is to try to get that package ordered on what we're going to need for the building. Obviously, you can put walls in and some of the other stuff later, but when you have a 6-month lead time on some of those things, we're trying to get those things ordered so then hopefully it can come in time to be able to get some things enclosed so we have some inside work during the winter months.
Well, and the high rate of success of the bond referendum really, really does speak to this project and how welcome the community is to have it. It really says a lot. Because when you're talking about funding things like this, the community very often are very reluctant, especially in the times that we're in right now. And for them to have such, a loud voice of support for this project really says a lot. It really does. Is there anything that we can do to help? Is there anything that we should be talking about to the public or sharing or anything that can help you with this venture?
Yes, I think, referring like you did with your family, Diana, referring students who may think they have an interest, but they don't know exactly what that might look like, bring them over to the college and we will talk to them about all of the options that we have, all of the partnerships that we have with other universities, online programs, as well as on-campus programs. People may be, somewhat undecided after this year of COVID of what things are going to look like, and just reassure them that we are following all of the, safety protocols. We are open for business. We would love to work with students at any point in their lives to, regain their confidence and their skills. We have, of course, a large English language learning program, as well as high school completion programs. And what we've been working on is both of those programs aren't an end unto themselves, but they have to lead into more of the types of programs that we've just, presented to you. So really those transitions and that confidence building. If you have a business partners that you're aware of that have a need for workforce development or training, please let them know that we want to talk to them. We want to hear and try to come up with solutions together.
Very good. Thank you so much. I'm so happy and pleased to be able to have you here today to talk about this project that's just going to be nothing but good for our community. And we're very thankful for all you do.
Well, we hope to see you at the ribbon cutting then, Mayor Broderson.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate both of you sharing
Yeah.
with us today.
Yep.
Well, as we get ready to close out our show for today, I just want to make sure that you know that we have a city council meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. We are in person now, but we are asking the public to join us virtually, and you can find the logout information on the city website right on the agenda. Tonight, that starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Next week, our guest here on Our City Show is Chuck Swanson. He's the director of Hanter Auditorium, and he's going to be talking to us about a great event coming to downtown Muscatine here in May, and we're really excited about that. That's another really good opportunity for us. Big thanks to Dr. DeWinter and Jeremy Pickard. We appreciated you visiting with us today, and we hope you will join us here next week on Our City. Thank you.